If you're interested in programming and you're wanting to get started, this video is for you. Kia ora, Siobhan here. In this video, I'm going to introduce you to 3 books that I'm using to learn how to program, along with the philosophy behind learning how to program. To begin, we want to reduce the barriers to programming. To start, we have to think about what language to use. And one simple answer is Python. Python, though it's a difficult language to master, is a very easy language to get started with. It works on most operating systems, Mac OS, Windows, Linux. All it requires is a download and an easy installation. Now, this moves us on to our first book, which is Automate the Boring Stuff by Sweigart. So this book here is for the complete beginner. The book is split into 2 parts. The first part involves learning the basics of Python, and the second part looks at applications of how Python is used. Within each chapter, you provided some information and material about Python and how the code works. And at the end of every chapter, you have problems that you have to work through. Now, this book is excellent for the 2 reasons. 1, it's very simple and easy to understand. And 2, it provides problems that you have to go through, so you have to actively use your mind. So this book was so good that I wasn't able to actually complete it. It gave me enough knowledge to work on my own projects. Now, Sweigart has a second book in his lineup, and that's called Beyond the Basics. So that builds upon the Python knowledge you've learned in the first book, and it works towards being a better programmer. So that involves things learning about Git version control, about big O notations, and a lot of things advanced developers will need to know. Now, the second book we're going to talk about is Python for Data Analysis by Mckinney. So this book introduces us to the really important libraries or modules used in data analysis. So these include pandas, NumPy, Matplotlib, Seaborn, and many more. By the time of recording, I'm about halfway through this book. So the book contains examples of how these libraries are implemented and used. The main downside of this book is it doesn't have any practice problems to go through. So what I do find myself doing sometimes is mindlessly going through the problems without thinking. So in effect, you just have to catch yourself when you're in those situations and really focus and concentrate on what you're learning on. So the final book is Hands-on Machine Learning with Scikit-learn Keras TensorFlow by Aurélien Géron. Now, with this book, I'd definitely take your time on it. It requires knowledge of Python as well as the libraries involved with data analysis. So I tried making a start on this book and I really struggled. So what I've done is I'm actually going to complete the book by Mckinney, and then I'll make an attempt on this book here. Now, this book is excellent because each chapter provides an application of using machine learning. And at the end of each chapter, it has problems that you have to work through. Now, the approach I want to take is we need to learn by doing. And a great way to do that is actually by creating projects. So projects will keep you motivated as well as you'll learn a lot of things actively trying to, you'll Google the problem and try and work things out. But the problem is we don't have enough knowledge to create our own projects. We don't know how far we can stretch our skills for the certain projects that we need to do. That's why the collection of these books will be really useful and helpful in getting you started with programming. Now, another thing I want to address is analysis by paralysis. We try and find the best method to learn programming, but the best method to learn programming is the one that you actually do. So don't worry about trying to get the best method of learning programming. Just start. Start with a language, start with some books, start with YouTube, just whatever gets the ball rolling. You can use my examples of the 3 books that I provided, but find your path. The best step is the step forward. So finally, to sum up, I've got 3 books for you that will help you with programming. The first is Automate the Boring Stuff by Sweigart. The second is Python for Data Analysis by Mckinney. And the third is Hands-on Machine Learning by Aurélien Géron. We need to be learning by projects, and because our knowledge isn't too vast in programming, the books can help us get a head start. Now, before I go, I just want to say good luck on your journey, and I hope you enjoy it. I've provided some links down below, a link to a blog post about this topic, in addition, some unaffiliated links to the books that we've discussed today. Ngā mihi and cheers.